Hey everyone, did you know that over 70% of home gardeners give up on their greenhouses within the first 2 years? Not because they don't love gardening, but because the panels crack, the frame rusts, or the setup turns into a weekend-long nightmare. I ran into that exact problem until I found the Palram Canopia Snap Grow 8-foot by 20-foot polycarbonate greenhouse. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What sold me right away was the virtually unbreakable roof and walls. Unlike flimsy plastic sheeting that yellows and shatters after one hailstorm, these crystal-clear polycarbonate panels have held up through 3 Minnesota winters so far. They also block 99.9% of UV rays, so my tomatoes aren't getting sunburned halfway through August. The 164 square foot floor space gives me room for 2 long raised beds plus a potting table, and the 6.8-foot headroom means I can actually stand up and stretch, no more crouch gardening. Setting it up was the easiest part. The Snap and Grow system uses interlocking extrusions that click together like Lego, so I didn't need a single power tool. The double-wide door is wide enough to wheel my wheelbarrow in and out, and the 4 adjustable roof vents let me fine-tune airflow without climbing on the roof. I added a simple rain gutter kit from the same brand, and now I'm collecting clean water for my seedlings instead of losing it to runoff. I keep my starter trays on a fold-down shelf inside the door, so on chilly mornings I can pop in, grab a flat of lettuce, and close the door behind me, no chilling drafts. The silver frame stays cool to the touch even in direct sun, and because it's aluminum it won't rust like cheaper steel kits. Palram backs it with a 5-year warranty, which is basically unheard of for this price point. Now, nothing's perfect. The instructions could be a little clearer about how tight to torque the wing nuts, over-tighten and the plastic strip can strip, under-tighten and the whole panel wobbles. Also, the base channels aren't included, so you'll need to pour a simple concrete perimeter or use ground anchors if you're on uneven ground. But once it's locked in, it doesn't budge in a 50 miles per hour wind. If you're tired of replacing greenhouse panels every season or wrestling with a kit that never quite goes together, this one's worth the investment. The link is below so you can grab yours and get growing without the headaches. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Palram Canopia Snap Grow 8-foot by 20-foot polycarbonate greenhouse silver sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like crystal clear virtually unbreakable polycarbonate roof and walls and polycarbonate panels provide protection from UV rays actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. What stands out about Palram Canopia Snap Grow 8-foot by 20-foot polycarbonate greenhouse silver is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. That usually matters more than flashy marketing because long-term satisfaction comes from how well the product fits your actual routine, priorities, and expectations once you start using it regularly. In real use, details like crystal clear virtually unbreakable polycarbonate roof and walls panels that polycarbonate panels provide protection from UV rays, 164 sq feet growing space and 6.8 foot of headroom are often the points that shape whether a product feels convenient, dependable, and worth the money after the excitement of opening the box wears off. So the smart buying decision here is less about chasing every spec and more about deciding whether the core strengths line up with the things you will personally notice most from day to day. What stands out about Palram Canopia Snap Grow 8-foot by 20-foot polycarbonate greenhouse silver is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Palram Canopia Snap Grow 8-foot by 20-foot polycarbonate greenhouse silver usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.